Real numbers. In the last part of real numbers series, we have seen a very important question as I discussed with you. The question type was root of any number like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 are irrational number. Okay, so as I told you that the question, that type is very important, and in the same series in continuation we will see some more questions where we will be using the same concept but not in detail. The question which we have discussed in the last part was of around 3 marks. We have discussed a question that prove that root 3 is an irrational number. The question type is of 3 marks. Now if we are asked the questions on the same concept but for less marks or more marks, so how the weightage and how the question will get affected. Suppose the same question we are asking for 4 marks, so what will be the question? The question will become prove that root 3 is an irrational number, hence show that 7 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational number. So you can see here this question will come for around 4 marks. So you can see the first part of the question, prove that root 3 is an irrational number. It is the same that we discussed yesterday. Okay, so what we are seeing, the extra part is that hence means we have already proved this, and then on the basis of that prior portion we need to show that 7 plus 2 root 3 is also an irrational number. So in that case the first part we will solve as it is, as we discussed in the yesterday's part. If you remember, we have seen the whole detailed proof for that. Just for your reference I will just show you that. See, prove that root 3 is an irrational number. So what we have done all this, so what do you think, that the same procedure, whole procedure will be using for this also? Then what is the use of solving this first? So dear students, in case the question comes like this where it is a combination, okay, combination of a rational and irrational number, then we don't need to show all that. What we will assume that the basis that root 3 is already shown is an irrational number, that portion we will use as it is and we will show that 7 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational number, but something we will have to show. So that part we will discuss in today's. Okay, so what we will assume for the second part, I will not do the first part here as we have already done in the last part. So I will do this part, show that 7 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational number. The method will continue as it is. Which method we have discussed? That method name, do you remember? The method is called as the method of contradiction. Means we assume that this is not true, something else is true, and later on we prove ourselves wrong, our assumption wrong. Okay, so the same way we will say, let us assume that 7 plus 2 root 3 is a rational number, Okay, what we have to prove? 7 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational number, but what we will assume, 7 plus 2 root 3 is a rational number. As we write this, so you know the condition, what we write then? So 7 plus 2 root 3 is of the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers and co-primes. Also q is not equal to 0. See, you will not write this, you will lose the marks. I am telling you. This portion is very important because the whole proof is based on these two important points. Okay, so you will have to write there p and q are integers and co-primes and q is not equal to 0. Is it very clear? Okay, so after you have given this, the same procedure we have to follow now. What will say? First I will, my main motto, that I will keep this root 3 alone on this one side. Rest all the things I will send on the other side. How? Let's check. First, which relation is weaker? 2's relation with root 3 or 7's relation with root 3? I can say that 7's relation is weaker. So what I'll do? I'll send 7 on the other side. So what I left on this side? 2 root 3 is equals to 7 is in addition. So on the other side it will go in p by q minus 7. Is it very clear? Is it very clear? What I did? I subtracted, we can say both the ways. I have done subtraction of 7 from both the side. So 7 plus minus 7, 7 will get cancelled, and here I'll get p by q minus 7, or I am sending 7 on the other side. Okay, so both the ways the answer will be same. Now root 3 alone is there? No, still 2 is there. 2 is in which relation? So 2 is in multiplication. What is the inverse of multiplication? It is division. Okay, so what I'll do? I'll divide both the sides by 2. So if I divide by 2 on the left hand side, I'll get root 3, and if I divide 2 on the right hand side, I'll get p by q minus 7 whole divided by 2. You will say, sir, 1 by 2 whole divided by 2? Yes, 1 by 2 means whole divided by 2. Okay, now what our assumption will be, what our assumption was, that it is a rational number, but what you are getting to see, that root 3 alone is there on left hand side, and the right hand side you get to see some very special number. What is that special number? We know that p by q is a rational number, we know that 7 is a rational number, we know that 1 by 2 is a rational number. So this whole RHS becomes rational, but we already have proved that root 3 is irrational, so LHS becomes irrational. So how is it possible that in an equation LHS is a irrational and RHS is rational? So it is not possible. It is not possible. So we will say that this contradicts the fact. Okay, this contradicts the fact that root 3 is irrational. Root 3 is irrational. This contradicts the fact that root 3 is irrational, because we have already proved. So hence our assumption is wrong. What we assumed, that is wrong, and hence 7 plus 2 root 3, what was our assumption? That 7 plus 2 root 3 is rational. So it is wrong means what is true? 7 plus 2 root 3 is an irrational number. Dear students, we are discussing only those questions in this session, the ones which are most expected ones. So I am not considering all the types, okay, that you can get in the NCERT. And in case if you want to understand some particular type, then do comment, okay. And there is no need, if you like the video, if you understand the method, if you really appreciate the efforts, then you should like, you should subscribe, you should share it with your friends, okay. See, I'll not say that mathematics is something like magic. No, mathematics is not at all magic. Mathematics needs only hard work, hard practice, okay, and proper understanding. Most of the times we are working very hard, but we don't know the correct way. So in that case, it will, that whole your efforts will go in waste. So for that reason, for that purpose, if you feel that the methods are easy, methods are simpler, you can understand them, you can relate with them, you can pass it on to them, to others, so definitely do that. Okay, so with this, students, will stop here. Take good care.